It's a views on YouTube.
Yeah, I should probably shoot it again.
Probably with a subscribers too, where that's only on YouTube.
No, I don't want to get wet. I got stuff in my pocket.
What did you say?
F in the chat.
Alright, what's up guys, Steven Dux here. I'm here with my new six-figure student. He made about 120,000, I would say, within 6 months. And he's been in my recruiting challenge for almost a year. So let's hear what he has to say. So here's David Gordon.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm David Gordon. Like Steven said, I've been tier 3 studying with him for a year. I started trading about 2.5 years ago on my own. I was pushing buttons like a rabid monkey, trading everything I could follow someone else into. When I started trading, I've had some success in other areas of my life. Fairly, at least average intelligence. I'm pretty good with numbers, and I really thought that it was going to be easy. I thought I was going to just start trading stocks and making money right off the bat.
Everybody starts like that.
So I opened an account and I started pushing buttons and losing money, and eventually I figured out that I needed help. I needed a mentor, and my first experience with an education was with Tim Sykes, and I did, and I still am actually active in Tim Sykes' challenge. I learned a lot of basics studying all those DVDs and doing webinars with Tim's guys. I learned a lot of the SEC filings stuff and the basic criteria of some tickers, but I was not profitable. I have a history of blowing up. I've done that on my own. I did that when I was in Sykes challenge, and then I did it again in the beginning, trying to follow ducks into trades that I didn't understand. And fast forward, right around the time that Steven came out with his first DVD, I bought that and started studying it. And I knew right away that I'd found my thing. I was like, it just clicked for me that it was real, that this was a pattern that you can make money with these patterns. And so I was right at home. And so I studied that, and then I decided to just jump right into tier 3. And I was still very addicted to trading. I had to be in the action. I think that's the biggest problem.
For pretty much all traders, people are looking to trade because people are not trying to make money, they just want to trade, and they're trading for no reason.
That's how so now I say half jokingly that I don't trade anymore. I'm just in it for the money.
Yeah, you can say it that way. You're aiming for the money instead of doing trade.
Back in the middle of January, something changed for me, and I slowed way down on my trading. I started understanding the setups. I think what it was that as I started to understand the setups, it became really obvious to me when I was trading without a setup, and I knew I was going to lose. I no longer believed my own lies that it might work out different this time. Like, all of a sudden, if there wasn't a setup, I just knew there wasn't money to be made, and I slowed way down, and it got better and better to the point now where I trade only, when there's a setup, which lately has not been often. It's been slow.
Yeah.
So I had about 8 trades in July. I can't remember, maybe 6 in June, or 6 or 8 in June and May. And but starting in January, I started making money, trading the bounce short, trading the bounce plus gap up short, and the gap up short. And I love trading all 3 of those patterns, and I made a lot of money this month. I made 50K, 53K gross this month. But last month I made 15K, and the month before I think I made 20K, and it was really all the same. It wasn't that I pushed harder to make 50K. The opportunities were just there.
Go ahead and catch it.
Caught it when it was there. So I don't care if I make 15K next month. You know, I'm not putting like a judgment on the. It's just a judgment on am I trading the right setup,
Yeah.
entering and exiting with some being systematic in how I trade.
Yeah, so people have a lot of problems with PDT. They think if they're under PDT, they're not going to make as much money as people that is over the PDT. And people are always looking for how do I start with an account without 25,000. And I can see people starting with the under 25,000, and the most consistent profitable trades that we make per week is generally 5 trades or under per month, or sometimes 7 trades per month. And the PDT allows you to trade 4 times a week, so that's plenty of trades for you to make consistent profits.
Yeah, the only slight disadvantage that I would see to someone under PDT, and honestly I don't think it matters, is the fact that it makes scaling in and out difficult. That's the only thing that's a little challenging, but you can overcome that challenge. And the truth is, if you just don't need to trade that much.
Yeah.
You don't need to trade that much. I still work. I have a job. I know a lot of people that are full-time that are not as far along as I am, and they want to be full-time traders. But that just puts too much added pressure to make money. I don't have, by working as I develop my skills, I don't need any money from trading. So the trading is not money to me. I know to a lot of people, they hear $50,000 and they think, oh, that's a lot of money. And it is a lot of money. I'm not discounting the value of the dollar, but it's not about dollars to me. It's just about learning to master the craft, hit the right trades, make the percentages. I don't look at it in terms of dollars. I look at it in terms of percentages.
Yeah.
Wins and losses, percent gain, you know.
What's your winning percentages?
Yeah, exactly.
Typically when I trade, I hide my profit and losses, so I will make sure I'm focusing on the chart instead of I'm focusing on money. And that just gives me more, I would say, look at the chart more clear and give me much better impression.
Agreed, 100%. The number one thing that I would tell a new person is just to stop trading, just to slow down. It doesn't matter how long these patterns offer, they happen with enough frequency and they have a good enough winning percentage as a pattern, and they offer a good enough average gain. That's another thing, the average gain is that these aren't scalping patterns. You take big moves, you take big chunks of a good amount of range. And these patterns just offer plenty of opportunity to make money. You don't have to, I like the way you say you're a day trader, but you look at it as a long-term investment in terms of how often the patterns happen, what they offer you, and you don't worry about what you're making on this one trade.
If you took a loss, it doesn't really affect your emotion because you know how much money you will make and have it per year. So where did you find all those patterns? And how did you find me?
So in the beginning, when I started with Tim Sykes, you were in the chat room occasionally. You would pop in.
Yeah.
At the time, you were already very successful, and so we would be really excited when you would pop in and you would, maybe you would talk about a trade, or you would give a tip or two, some kind of information about trading. And so I knew who you were. You were, kind of legendary status as a trader in there. And there was a lot of buzz around when your DVD was coming out.
Yeah.
So I was aware of it. So that's how I found you. And the DVD led me to Tier 3. Tier 3 is such. I feel like if I say the way that I really feel, people will think that you're paying me to do this interview.
Just go ahead and say what you feel. Just go ahead and say what you feel.
So it's a lot of money. It costs a lot of money in terms of if you're working a job. I understand that the cost of tier 3 it's a chunk of change, but relative to what Steven is giving you, if you do the work, it's nothing. I mean, I've made more money in one trade than it's cost me to be with you all year. And then for tier 3, you get 2 webinars a week. That's what they tell you in the agreement. But in fact, we get 3 webinars or 4 webinars. If there's a runner or something hot, Steven's in there. So it's a steal. I almost want to like turn off the camera and like don't tell anyone else. But you know, speaking to that, the amazing thing about, and I'm not saying this like an expert. You've taught me this, but I believe it because it makes perfect sense. That these patterns are never going to go away because they're based on the resistance created by all the new people that are coming in to learn how to trade stocks and doing what I did in the beginning, what we all do in the beginning.
Yeah, and you can calculate the ratios and make sure you are not at works and make sure you're not getting.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if unbreakable resistance is 60 million shares today, and a year from now, maybe 60 million shares is just light resistance, but it doesn't matter because there'll be a new number that'll represent unbreakable.
Yeah, so that's why people, when asking you what happens if your pattern gets outdated, it's never gonna get outdated. That's because we're using historical and current day compared to each other, get the ratio, and we'll make sure we keep us safe against the trade.
So I have a job. I actually am a business owner, or I own part of a business, and I'm 49 years old, which is, young, but it's not real young. I still have plenty of life ahead of me, but I want to, knock on wood, but I want to enjoy it more. I want to free up my time. I want more freedom of time for family, for travel, and so what I'm trying to do in a very systematic, safe way is start to replace my income with the trading income so that I can transition out of having a day job and eventually, with no stress, trading the same way that I trade now, which is not worrying about the money from day to day. When I trade, I'm not worried about the money because I don't need the money. I pay my bills from working. When I transition out to full-time trading, I want it to be just as stress-free, where I just have all my systems in place, I'm systematic, and that's my goal. That's my dream. And it's not a lofty dream, it's going to happen. I'm gonna say something that sounds crazy.
Go ahead. Let's
I'm a 7-figure trader in the making. I know I'm not making 7 figures now, and I don't say that from arrogance or ego. I mean, this morning at 3 in the morning, when everyone was asleep, I was entering statistics. I was up working. So I'm doing the work. But the point is, statistically, the patterns offer up 7 figures a year.
Yeah.
It's there. All you have to do is become competent, understand how to manage your money, how to manage your risk, how to trade these patterns and allow the account to grow. And the liquidity's there to make 7 figures. Like it's not a lofty dream to me. It's laid out in front of me, and I'm just walking the path toward it.